What if I told you that Point Break, the adrenaline-fueled surf and heist classic, has secrets even the most die-hard fans haven't noticed? Get ready, because these 20 weird facts will completely change the way you see the movie. Fact 1. The role of Johnny Utah was almost Keanu Reeves' twin. Most fans know Keanu Reeves as Johnny Utah, but did you know the role was originally offered to another actor? In the early 90s, the casting team considered actors like River Phoenix and Christian Slater before Keanu ultimately landed the part. Reeves brought a natural blend of athleticism and charisma, which perfectly suited the FBI agent turned surfer. What's fascinating is that the producers initially doubted his ability to perform the intense physical stunts, especially surfing. Keanu trained rigorously for weeks to master the waves, giving the film its authentic energy. This commitment to realism helped make Utah one of the most memorable action heroes of the decade. Fans often forget that without Keanu, the iconic dynamic between Johnny and Bodhi might have been completely different, altering the film's cult status. Fact 2. Patrick Swayze did most of his own stunts. Patrick Swayze, who played the legendary Bodhi, didn't just act, he lived the adrenaline. Known for his background in martial arts and dance, Swayze performed almost all of his stunts, including the skydiving sequences. This dedication brought a visceral realism to Bodhi, making him more than just a villain or anti-hero. He became a believable, almost untouchable figure. The skydiving scenes were shot with real parachutes and minimal CGI, which was revolutionary at the time. Swayze's willingness to take risks also inspired the rest of the cast, including Keanu Reeves, who respected his co-star's courage. Many behind-the-scenes stories describe Swayze calmly executing death-defying stunts while keeping a playful and charismatic attitude. Today, fans still admire these scenes not just for the thrill, but for the actor's bravery and dedication to their craft, which elevated the entire film. Fact 3. Surfing was practically a character itself. Point Break is famous for its extreme sports sequences. But surfing wasn't just a backdrop, it was almost a character in the movie. The production team spent months scouting the perfect waves, eventually filming on the coasts of California and Hawaii. Real surfers were brought in as stunt doubles. Yet Keanu and Swayze learned enough to make the surfing look authentic. The surfing scene served multiple purposes, showing Bodhi's free-spirited philosophy, contrasting Johnny's law enforcement rigidity, and adding visual poetry to the film's narrative. Interestingly, some of the biggest wave shots were captured with handheld cameras on jet skis, creating a raw, immersive experience that viewers still praise today. The waves not only posed physical challenges for the cast, but also mirrored the chaos and unpredictability of the story itself. Without these sequences, the movie would have lost a significant part of its identity and iconic appeal. Fact 4. The real bank robbers inspired the movie. Believe it or not, Point Break drew inspiration from actual criminal cases. Screenwriter W. Peter Iliff researched real-life surfers who turned to bank robbery, blending fact with fiction. This provided authenticity to the gang's methods and motivations. The ex-president's gang in the movie Robbers Wearing Masks of Past U.S. Presidents was loosely based on real-life heist crews who used disguises to commit robberies. While the film exaggerated events for cinematic drama, the core idea of thrill-seeking criminals with a philosophical edge came straight from reality. This connection to real events gave the movie its tense, believable edge, making it more than just an action flick. Fans often overlook this detail, but knowing the roots in actual crime history deepens appreciation for the story's creativity and its mix of adrenaline and philosophical undertones. Fact 5. The FBI scenes were shot in actual federal buildings. Many of the FBI office scenes were filmed in real government buildings, adding a sense of authenticity rarely seen in action films of the era. This meant that the actors had to adhere to strict security protocols while performing their roles. Keanu Reeves and the crew spent time learning FBI procedures, from how agents handled files to walking through corridors realistically. Using actual locations increased the movie's realism, giving audiences a behind-the-scenes glimpse of law enforcement operations. It also presented challenges. Filming schedules had to be adjusted around building availability, and every prop had to be cleared for security reasons. This decision showed the filmmakers' commitment to authenticity, even in a movie filled with extreme stunts and over-the-top action sequences. By grounding parts of the story in real locations, Point Break achieved a balance between cinematic excitement and believability. Fact 6. The skydiving scenes were mostly real. Point Break set a new standard for extreme sports cinema by featuring real skydiving sequences. Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze both underwent intensive skydiving training, performing jumps from thousands of feet with cameras strapped to their helmets. The production hired professional skydivers to ensure safety, but many of the stunts were executed without CGI, a rare choice in early 90s filmmaking. This approach created authentic adrenaline and tension that audiences could feel. One famous scene shows Bodhi and Johnny diving in tandem, perfectly choreographed yet unscripted in terms of weather conditions. The unpredictability of real jumps added realism but also risked injuries, which the crew managed carefully. Interestingly, the skydiving scenes were shot over multiple months to capture perfect lighting and cloud formations. This commitment not only made the stunts iconic but also influenced later action films to blend practical extreme sports with narrative storytelling. Fact 7. Bodhi's philosophy was Patrick Swayze's idea. Patrick Swayze didn't just act in Point Break. He helped shape Bodhi's spiritual and philosophical side. Drawing on personal interests in yoga and philosophy, Swayze suggested lines and gestures that reflected Bodhi's free-spirited worldview. The famous quotes about living on the edge and feeling the waves were partly inspired by Swayze's own love for adventure and his belief in embracing life fully. Director Catherine Bigelow encouraged this input, giving Swayze freedom to improvise. These philosophical touches elevated Bodhi from a stereotypical villain to a charismatic anti-hero with a code of ethics. Fans still quote these lines, not realizing the actor's influence. Behind the scenes, Swayze worked with dialogue coaches to perfect timing and delivery, blending introspection with charm. His personal contributions made Bodhi memorable beyond his surfing skills or criminal acts, ensuring the character would remain one of the most iconic action figures of the 1990s. Fact 8. Keanu Reeves' surfing training was brutal. Keanu Reeves wasn't a surfer before filming Point Break, so he had to learn fast. He trained for weeks under professional surfers, enduring harsh ocean conditions, cold water, and countless wipeouts. The goal was to make his surfing look natural on camera, which required perfect timing, balance, and athletic endurance. Some of the toughest shots involved riding giant waves while coordinating with the camera crew on jet skis, adding pressure. Keanu's dedication impressed both Swayze and the director, as he refused stunt doubles in many mid-range wave sequences. The physical toll was intense, leading to sore muscles, cuts, and hypothermia risks, but it paid off on screen. Audiences praised his believable performance, unaware of the effort behind it. This commitment to authenticity contributed significantly to the film's lasting appeal, inspiring a generation of actors to embrace physical training for demanding roles. Fact 9. The ex-presidents' masks were custom-made. The bank robbers' masks George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Richard Nixon, and Jimmy Carter became iconic symbols of the movie. What many fans don't know is that each mask was custom-made for the actors and stunt performers. The production team studied presidential portraits, sculpting the masks to exaggerate features while allowing visibility and breathability for the performers. These masks were surprisingly heavy and restrictive, which made performing stunts, holding weapons, and running incredibly challenging. The masks also symbolized the contrast between law and chaos, tying the plot's thematic elements to visual storytelling. Interestingly, several stunt performers had to rehearse for hours just to become comfortable moving in the masks without slipping or tipping. Today, these masks remain a popular collectible and cosplay item, proving that attention to detail and props can elevate a movie's cultural impact far beyond the screen. Fact 10. Filming took place in multiple locations across California. To capture the perfect mix of ocean and urban environments, Point Break was shot in various California locations, from Malibu to Los Angeles. Each location was carefully selected for visual impact and narrative consistency. Malibu beaches provided realistic surfing conditions, while Los Angeles streets hosted the high-octane chase sequences. Filming across multiple locations required meticulous planning, permits, and logistical coordination, especially for large crowds and public stunts. The crew often had to adjust schedules due to tides, weather, and traffic conditions, which created challenges for the tight production timeline. Despite these hurdles, shooting on location added authenticity and energy that studio sets couldn't replicate. Fans may not realize that the seamless transitions between beach and city scenes were made possible by careful cinematography, location scouting, and creative problem-solving, contributing to the movie's lasting cinematic appeal and cult status. Fact 11. The money heist was inspired by real cases. The infamous ex-president's bank robberies were loosely based on real-life heist cases from the late 1980s. Screenwriter W. Peter Iliff drew inspiration from stories of criminals who targeted banks while wearing disguises, blending reality with Hollywood spectacle. This added a layer of plausibility to the story, while maintaining its entertainment value. The heist sequences were carefully choreographed to include tension, action, and humor, mirroring actual robberies while exaggerating for cinematic drama. Props, planning, and choreography were meticulously designed to prevent accidents during filming. By grounding the heist in reality, the movie balanced thrill and believability, allowing audiences to immerse themselves in both adrenaline-filled action and character-driven narrative. This approach influenced later action films, proving that blending fact with fiction can create iconic movie sequences that endure for decades. Fact 12. Kathryn Bigelow became a pioneer in action cinema. Director Kathryn Bigelow, known for intense, visually stunning films, broke norms by helming Point Break. At a time when women rarely directed high-budget action movies, Bigelow's vision combined adrenaline, philosophy, and realism. She encouraged actors to perform stunts, used real locations, and prioritized practical effects over CGI. Her hands-on approach challenged traditional Hollywood practices, especially in handling extreme sports and action choreography. Bigelow's collaboration with cinematographer Jeff Cronenweth created dynamic, fluid shots that captured both physical and emotional tension. The movie's success helped cement her reputation as a bold, innovative filmmaker. Many contemporary directors cite Point Break as a benchmark for blending action with character depth. Bigelow's influence extended beyond the film, inspiring the industry to embrace female directors in high-octane genres and demonstrating that innovative vision can redefine mainstream action cinema. Fact 13. The motorcycle chase was realistic and dangerous. The motorcycle chase scenes were filmed with real bikes on actual roads, creating an authentic sense of danger and excitement. Actors and stunt doubles rode at high speeds, often within inches of traffic, requiring precise coordination with the camera crew. Some stunts were performed without crash mats or CGI enhancements, which increased the risk but made the sequences thrilling. Keanu Reeves, in particular, had to learn advanced motorcycle maneuvers to keep scenes smooth and believable. Safety officers monitored every take, but weather, traffic, and mechanical issues added unpredictability. These realistic conditions gave the chase sequences kinetic energy, making them memorable highlights of the movie. Fans often cite these scenes as some of the most intense in 90s action cinema, not realizing how much planning, risk, and physical skill went into capturing them authentically on screen. Fact 14. The cast bonded through extreme training. To perform their stunts convincingly, the cast underwent extensive physical and mental training. This included surfing lessons, skydiving practice, martial arts, and weapons handling. The rigorous training fostered a strong bond between actors, particularly Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, who often trained together in and out of scenes. This camaraderie translated to on-screen chemistry, making their friendship and rivalry believable. Trainers also coached actors on improvising safely during stunts, which was crucial for high-risk sequences. The physical and emotional shared experiences helped the cast internalize their characters' thrill-seeking mindsets. The bond extended to minor cast members, creating a cohesive ensemble. Audiences might not notice it, but the trust built during preparation made the intense action sequences safer, more convincing, and emotionally resonant, adding another layer to the film's enduring appeal. Fact 15. The FBI training was realistic. To make Johnny Utah's FBI training believable, Keanu Reeves went through extensive police and tactical training, He learned firearms handling, foot pursuits, and interrogation techniques under real instructors. Reeves even practiced advanced decision-making drills that agents use during high-pressure scenarios. Some sequences were shot on actual law enforcement training grounds, which added authenticity to his movements and reactions. Reeves' dedication made his character's transformation from rookie agent to seasoned operative believable. This realistic portrayal also enhanced the tension in action scenes, as audiences felt the stakes were real. The directors encouraged improvisation during training sequences, which allowed natural reactions to danger and authority. Interestingly, some instructors were so impressed with Reeves' commitment that they later praised his performance as accurate enough to be shown as part of their training demonstrations. The realism of FBI training elevated the film beyond typical action fare, grounding it in real-world skills and discipline. Fact 16. Surfing stunts were performed by professionals. While Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze trained for surfing, many of the most dangerous maneuvers were performed by professional surfers doubled in the film. These professionals executed huge wave rides, aerial tricks, and coordinated group sequences that the actors couldn't safely perform. Camera rigs were attached to jet skis, helicopters, and even watercraft to capture dynamic angles without risking lives. The blend of real surfing and actor participation created seamless sequences where audiences often can't tell the difference. Filming took place over multiple months to ensure perfect weather and wave conditions. The professional surfers' contributions gave the movie a cinematic realism, particularly during the climactic Bodhi wave scene. This decision to integrate extreme athletes instead of relying solely on actors was unusual at the time, setting Point Break apart from other action films. It created an immersive experience for viewers and inspired future sports action hybrid films to adopt the same approach. Fact 17. Real skydiving injuries occurred, despite extensive safety measures. Some skydiving scenes caused minor injuries to stunt performers and actors. The risks were high due to the combination of altitude, wind, and precise maneuvers required for filming. Participants experienced bruises, sprains, and the occasional near miss with camera equipment. Safety coordinators worked around the clock to monitor conditions and plan jumps meticulously. Keanu Reeves participated in several of these high-risk stunts, demonstrating dedication to authenticity. The real-world danger added palpable tension to the film, creating scenes that felt genuinely thrilling. These real-life stakes were rarely disclosed during promotion, giving audiences an unfiltered adrenaline experience. The production's willingness to embrace controlled danger pushed the boundaries of action filmmaking at the time. It also highlighted the physical commitment of the cast and crew, showing that achieving cinematic realism often requires courage and endurance beyond acting talent. Fact 18. The film's title has a hidden meaning. Point Break isn't just about surfing, it's also a metaphor. The point break in surfing refers to the moment a wave breaks at a specific location, symbolizing thresholds, risk, and breaking points. This metaphor extends to the characters' lives, particularly Bodhi's philosophy of pushing limits and Johnny Utah's journey through danger and moral challenges. Director Catherine Bigelow intentionally chose the title to reflect both the literal surf setting and the psychological tension of the story. The dual meaning resonates throughout the movie. The ocean represents freedom and chaos, while the criminal heists represent breaking societal boundaries. Even minor dialogue and scene composition reference this layered meaning, making the title a thematic anchor. This clever wordplay is one reason Point Break is studied in film courses, showing how a simple phrase can encapsulate character, plot, and philosophy simultaneously. Fact 19. The final wave scene took weeks to film. The climactic wave scene, where Bodhi surfs the massive hurricane, was one of the most challenging sequences ever filmed. It required weeks of planning, scouting, and shooting, with crews battling unpredictable ocean conditions. Multiple camera teams captured every angle, including underwater shots, helicopter overheads, and close-ups of the actors. Patrick Swayze performed parts of the stunt, with professional surfers filling in for extreme maneuvers. Safety teams were on constant alert for weather changes, and some days had to be rescheduled due to unsafe conditions. The stormy backdrop added tension and symbolism, representing Bodhi's ultimate surrender to nature. The resulting scene is widely regarded as one of the most iconic in surf cinema, showcasing extreme sports, philosophy, and action in perfect harmony. Its meticulous execution contributed to the film's legendary status among both action and sports movie fans. Fact 20. Point Break inspired a real-life subculture. Point Break didn't just entertain, it inspired a global subculture of adrenaline sports enthusiasts. Fans emulated the surfing lifestyle, skydiving jumps, and even the philosophy of living on the edge depicted by Bodhi. Surfing schools, skydiving centers, and extreme sports programs saw increased interest after the film's release. Some viewers even undertook legal heists in imitation of the ex-president's gang, though not on the scale depicted in the movie. The film's cultural impact extended into fashion, with leather jackets and wetsuits becoming iconic symbols. Action sports documentaries and movies often reference Point Break as an influence. This legacy proves that cinematic storytelling can transcend entertainment, shaping real-world behavior, attitudes, and even career choices. The combination of adrenaline, philosophy, and compelling characters made Point Break a template for films that aim to inspire lifestyle movements, rather than just box office success.